This show brought to you by Circle of Seven Productions, www.cosproductions.com. Please be sure to subscribe and welcome to our circle.
Well, hello, everybody. This is Patricia W. Fisher with Readers Entertainment Radio. It is the end of July, and it just seems like the year is racing by. And it is, before we end the month, it is National Culinary Arts Month here in the United States. So that's basically saying, you know, be happy for the people who make food amazing and creative and fabulous. And I'm so excited because we're talking to someone today who actually lives in one of the culinary capitals of the world. And so I want to go ahead and get started because I want to get as much of a talk in as I can with her. Carolyn Eychenne is an author of fiction and nonfiction works. Sunrise Over Paris is her first novel, but not the first book she has published, and other being French language books about digital platforms. While radically different and a lot less fun to read, it led her back to her true love of writing. Not quite an American in Paris, Carolyn has lived most of her adult life in the suburbs of Paris after growing up in Southern California. Even after so many years abroad, she still is fascinated by the cultural differences and the food. She especially enjoyed doing all the hands-on research, hiking, and dining for Sunrise Over Paris. You can find Carolyn at her website, Amazon, Facebook, LinkedIn, and Goodreads, and her book, Sunrise Over Paris, is out now. So welcome to the show, Carolyn, or what I would say bonjour to you today.
Thank you. Thank you so much. Or should I say merci?
So tell me, merci, yes. And we could go, I could do a little bit, and, you know, I remembered quite a bit when we went to Paris a few years ago. My daughter did an exchange program in Aix-les-Bains, and so we flew into Lyon. And the funniest thing is, you know, we're in San Antonio, so we love our Spurs, our basketball team. And then I went to the University of Texas, and we were in baggage claim, and there were these gentlemen there talking, and then one of them made said to the other one, we call it hook 'em horns because it's Longhorn, Texas Longhorns. And so he said, okay, see you later, hook 'em horns. And I was like, what? I thought we left the United States. And then like a couple of moments later, there was somebody who had a Spurs jersey on and was like, it was bizarre. But anybody who talks about...
they were just wanting you to feel at home.
I guess so. It was really sweet, you know. But it's interesting because people always assume, oh, well, you went to France, so you must have just gone to Paris. And I'm like, well, we did end up going to Paris after that. But there is a world outside of Paris, which is, you know, it's not just that city. It's this massive country that's got all of these layers of, like you have, food and history and everything else. I mean, what was, when you first started living over there, what was your first, let's say, outside of Paris type adventure?
Well, when I first went, I did a junior year abroad.
Okay.
So only I was broke, so I could only afford a junior semester abroad.
Okay.
and I was really lucky. I went to Aix-en-Provence, which is in the south of France, very close to Marseille. Mm-hmm. And it is the most beautiful city, just gorgeous. And I stayed with an old lady who, actually I did put her in my novel. Very old world France, loved to cook. And the person she had before me was a vegetarian. So that was hard for her. And my parents raised me to eat what is put in front of you.
That's right.
And since she was a great cook, I'm a great eater, so we got along real well. No, seriously. I mean, there were a few things like the very first day I was there, she had her nephew and his family over for Sunday lunch. And and she, like, there was, I don't remember what the first course was, but the second course was some sort of vegetables, potatoes, and then she brought out this thing, and swear to God, it looked like a dog poop on a plate.
Yeah.
It was like this big round circle, like circle within a circle within a circle, with a little like uplift at the, and it looked like a poop.
Yeah.
And I thought, you know, I'm trying to be a good sport, but wow, this is beyond my comfort zone. So I tried to discreetly ask the kid next to me. You know, he was like 10 or 12 years old. I tried to ask him, what is this?
Yes.
But I wasn't real good in French yet. So instead of saying, so in French, I should have said, qu'est-ce que c'est? So what is this? And what I actually said was, qui est? Which is, who is this? And the kid laughed and laughed and laughed and, you know, fell off his chair kind of laughing. And his mom yelled at him once, twice. Then she said, well, you know, what's gotten into you? And so he told everyone.
Sure.
And everyone else laughed and laughed except the old lady I was staying with.
Sure.
And, you know, I was thinking, geez, I haven't even been here an hour and I've already made her angry. This is not going to go well. And it turned out, you know, we talked later, and it turned out that she was angry at them for making me uncomfortable.
Oh, okay.
Which was very sweet of her.
Wow. It was.
Very sweet.
For certain.
Yeah.
So what was the dish?
So, blood sausage.
Oh, okay. Yeah.
Which is kind of harsh to give to somebody their first day in the country.
Well, but she probably didn't think anything of it. I mean, it was probably just a typical dish that they had, I would guess.
Yeah, absolutely. And, you know, for her, very traditional French cook, so everything was traditional meal. So that was just a normal thing for them to have. But, oh, my God.
You know, I thought you were going to. Yeah, well, I thought when we went and we met the host family, they had us for dinner, and they're at the base of the Alps, and it's July. So if anybody's been to France in July, you realize that they have a long day. Like, it's light until 10 at night, and the sun's up at like 6:37.
At least.
It's a long day. But it was just like perfect weather, and we're at the base of the Alps, and they give us a dinner al fresco, which was lovely. But so, you know, you start with the champagne, and then you have the wine, and you have the cheese plate, and then they bring the vegetables, then they have the meat, and then they brought out this, you know, loaf-looking thing, and it was a dessert, and it was some sort of chocolate torte type mousse something. I don't know. Ooh. But it was literally like they had gone to heaven and said, I need a dessert, and they just gave her this, and she made it.
Nice.
I mean, it was
and
just
she made it. Wow.
Amazingly good. Yeah, she did. The girlfriend made it. So it was so lovely. And they were very sweet. I know that it's amazing how, and I'm sure, and you have it in your book too, and amazing how food is kind of this common ground. Like, you might not understand each other completely, but it's that common ground. Like, it's neutral territory, the food itself.
Well, it can be. It can be, because I've seen, how can I say, I've been around some picky eaters.
Sure.
And I've been around some people who sometimes you wonder if they're just trying to attract attention by being so difficult.
Yeah. Sure.
Or
sure.
But I guess it goes back to what I said earlier, where, you know, my parents raised me to be polite and to at least at the dinner table.
Yeah.
You know, I was taught to taste everything, and if I'm a guest, then you choke it down and say, delicious.
Right.
And by doing that, you actually end up, you know, when you're 10 years old, it's a problem. But later in life, you realize what a gift they gave me, because I was taught to try things. You know, the range of things that I enjoy is just so much larger than anybody else. And
right.
Well, maybe not than anybody else, because it sounds like you're a good sport too.
Yeah, and it was interesting because I told my daughter, I was like, you know, if you want to try some different stuff, please do, you know, because I can't cook the way they cook. But it was very different, interesting, because we're from Texas, and Texas has its own kind of, mythology about it. When she got over there, they said, make us something that you eat at home. Well, they didn't have the same spices, a lot of them. So she was trying to make guacamole with lemons and like almost no salts and garlic. It's just like they were just like, you eat this, and she was like, yeah, but this isn't the same. And the avocados were a little bit, they weren't mushy yet, and I mean, there's just there's all the different things, but they were trying, and so she was like, I'll eat whatever you have. And you're right, it's that experience of being immersed in the everyday thing, which is what those programs are about, and just gives you a very different perspective of. And how good for her! How good for her you were able to do that. We fell into it. It was through Rotary, and it just kind of came up last minute. But yeah, we did. And one of the things that happened when she was there was it was in 2018. Well, it was 100 years since World War I had ended, and apparently this town was like a natural hot springs. So it was like it used to be kind of a getaway for a lot of the affluent to go and have, spa stuff. But apparently since it was up in the mountains, none of the German tanks could get up there. So this is where a lot of the Allied soldiers were taken to recover. And they had like 100,000 come through this town. So then they had this huge celebration of, the end of World War I. And my daughter plays oboe. So they said, well, if she can bring her oboe, she can be in the community band for the celebration of it. Oh, that's cool. Yeah. So it was cool because her host dad played trumpet in the community band. So she couldn't take her oboe. But they found her an oboe. She brought her reeds. And she's, here she is 14, and we're thinking, we left our 14-year-old over in France. But she said that they were all very sweet, and she was still learning numbers, and so measures are numbered. So she was trying to figure out, okay, if they said number 76, she's like, okay, wait, hold on. And they were always started joking about, we're waiting for the American to catch up. But that month she was there, she said she understood a whole lot more. She wasn't quite as confident about speaking it, but she could understand it, which is a huge thing. That's good. Yeah. Yeah. And she got to be there when they won the World Cup, too. Ah. Yeah. And that's always a big deal. Oh, for sure. For sure. It's not my thing, but I've gotten stuck in several traffic jams during the World Cup. Because they all, everybody goes out in the street. And one time, God, I think it was when the Portuguese team won. And so it was, the Portuguese community in Paris was all thrilled. Yeah. Traffic is at a stop, and kids were actually like walking over the cars. Mm-hmm. Luckily, they didn't walk on mine, but it was just crazy, We were in, right before that, we'd gone to Geneva. My grandfather had passed away, and they had lived in Geneva for a while, so we took some of his ashes and to put in Lake Geneva. And Lord, I hope that's okay, because now I'm saying it on, international TV, podcast. I'll probably get a $200 euro fine in the mail. But so we had to. It was very small. So we put them in. But that night they had won the World Cup. They had won the quarterfinals. Like they had beaten. Okay. Switzerland had beaten. I'm trying to remember. Croatia maybe. But I mean, we had just finished dinner and we're going to go walk around. And man, the whole town went bananas. Like you're saying, like people were driving around and honking their horns and yelling and running up and down the sidewalks. Yeah. Yeah. If you didn't know what was going on, people would be like, oh my gosh, what is happening? So, well, considering I'm not a soccer fan at all, for me, it's kind of more of an annoyance than anything else. But it's good for national unity. So years ago, I read an article about how World Cup
football, as they call it here, has
Sure.
averted many world wars. The purpose of these kinds of competitions are really to let out all the nationalism, all the pent-up nationalism, so that we avoid getting into wars afterwards.
Nice.
I don't know if it
Well, I'll
works,
take it. You know, if that's what we have to have endless soccer or endless football tournaments, I'm all for it, you know? If it keeps military people safe, no one gets blown up, I'm good. So
yeah. And they have a good time in the meantime, so that's good too.
Oh, for sure. Yeah. It's always very interesting to see something unite a group of people that are complete strangers. It's charming and lovely, and it gives me hope, you know, for all of us. But yeah, and it is fun. It is a lot of fun to see games and watch it. But so when you went over as a junior, in your college, right? Not high school, but college. Okay. So
right. So I was older than your daughter.
So you're from California. You go to France. You're there for a semester. You come back, you graduate, and then I went right back. What brings you back to France? Yeah, I mean, what brings you back?
I loved it. That semester, it was, I really enjoyed, I'm from Riverside, California. I like Riverside. I enjoyed being there. But when I lived in Aix-en-Provence, I felt like I was home. I just felt that was my place. And I don't know how I can describe it, but it's not like there was anything wrong with California, because there's a lot of great stuff in it. But I just somehow it just felt right, and that was for me. So the whole year my whole senior year, I did everything I could to find a way back, and so I got a Fulbright scholarship. And,
nice.
Well, big disappointment, because in the U.S. it's a big deal, but in the whole rest of the world it doesn't mean anything. So between me and the high school where they sent me, there was a big disconnect in terms of our expectations. And I was young and surely not mature and surely did not handle things well. But they sent me to this town in an area in France that even the French don't know. It was like being in the, really deep country.
Okay.
With everything. I don't want to use the word hick, but, that's what we're coming down to. They were hicks. I ended up doing, to tell you how bad it was, I did a translation for the cattle market in that city.
Okay.
Did you know that there are different words, scales, like when the animal can stand up on its own volition, or if it can no longer stand up, there are different words for those scales?
Huh.
Like, who knew?
I did not know that. Yeah, right.
Learn something new every day. It was like, to thank me, this is going to be another foodie thing for you, to thank you for my translation, they gave me a tour of the cattle market. And, it was cattle market, but it was still like cattle, sheep, goats, and whatever else. And and they gave me as a surprise, they gave me a meal, so breakfast. At 8 a.m. in the morning, it was tripe.
Oh, wow.
And it's like right up there with blood sausage. And luckily, they drink a lot of white wine when they eat tripe.
Oh, sweet.
So that was the only time in my life that I was drunk by 8:30. I was trying so hard to eat that tripe. Oh, man.
Wow. Tripe and white wine for breakfast. Breakfast of champions.
Oh, you're funny. But that was hard.
Yeah,
but
I think that would be a hard one.
That was a very hard
year. I would, yeah. But so you end up in Paris at some point. What brings you to Paris?
Well, actually, at the end of, during that year where I was so unhappy, I met the man who would become my husband.
Okay.
And we did get married soon thereafter. And his first job after his compulsory military service, because they used to have that in France. So his first job after the military service was in Paris. So I followed him there, and we started our life together.
Okay.
And
you lived there for how many years?
I've never lived in a big city. Pretty much ever since.
Okay.
So, without telling you how old I am.
Sure. More than 10 years.
But more than 30 years.
Okay.
But not too much more than 30 years. But we also spent about 4 years down near Nice.
Okay.
So that was pretty great too.
So you said that this brought you, these wonderfully dry, I guess you could say, French language books about digital platforms, but it brought you back to writing. So what was the catalyst to get you to go from writing, obviously nonfiction, to saying, you know what, I think I want to write a fiction book?
Well, my dream as a little kid, I had always dreamed of becoming a writer.
Okay.
I mean, that had always been my dream, and then, life happens, things get put on the back burner. And, and then when we were young married, my husband had an experience, a trip to Milan, a business trip to Milan.
Okay.
Which went really badly, and it was just hysterically funny, and even more so when you know who he is.
Sure.
And I had always wanted to write that story, but it always seemed just like too big and too hard to do. And by writing the nonfiction work, I actually, got back to the pleasure of writing, but I also got into the process of writing. And so I did the typical thing of, breaking it down into, sizable or smaller chunks, and then just doing one chunk at a time. And so really, I had the dream, and then I learned a bit more about the process, which then made that first story doable. So I don't really want to tell more about what happened to my husband, because that would be a total spoiler for part 3. But, and we don't want to do that. We hate people who spoil.
No. So, and now we're to the book. So tell me about your book, Sunrise Over Paris.
I had a ball writing it. It was so much fun. I did, I wrote a first draft, and that was already quite hard for me. It took me over 18 months. Yeah, over a year and a half, maybe closer to 2 years to get that first draft.
That first book is like that. Yeah.
Well, I'm hoping the second won't be as hard, but for the moment, I can't say that's my experience. But so I had done my first draft, or got it to where I thought it was good, and then I sent it to 4 people, friends and family in the U.S., who graciously accepted to read it and give me feedback.
Okay.
And we did that like 2 or 3 times, and each time I integrated their suggestions as much as possible. And then, the problem with doing it that way is you're working with people who like you or who love you.
Sure.
And so they're not necessarily the best critics.
Right.
They maybe aren't as hard on you as they should be, and or on your writing rather. And then I was able to make a contact with someone, an alum from my college, who is a published novelist, and she accepted to read like the first 2 chapters, and she slammed it. I was like harsh.
Yeah.
So through crying,
That's
I found a third way, which is I went on Reedsy and hired a professional editor. And And I really lucked out, if I can say her name, Lindsay Guzzardo, super editor. She was like my coach, my cheerleader, my editor, the person managing my syllabus of required reading. You know, she gave me different books that she wanted me to read, so we would have a common vocabulary for discussing what she felt needed to be done. And we basically reworked the entire action or the entire chronology of the book.
Right.
And changed the structure radically. And in doing so, you know, we cut out parts that she felt were too slow. We added in new parts. And it was, for me, it was a really good synergy because, yeah, she wasn't so critical that I was, you know, just paralyzed, but yet she was critical enough to push me to become better. And, I learned a lot working with her. But so
yeah, I think that's the balance. Yeah, that's the balance of, you know, rip it up, tell me what I can do better, and then it's ripped up, and it's like, okay. But to be honest, after that first few times of someone doing that, I almost look forward to it in a weird way, because I'm like, okay, I don't know what I'm doing, if it's good, or I need to know brutally, because reviewers will be brutal. So for anybody who's truly, truly serious about writing a good book, you always, whether you go through an editor, I mean, whether you go through a publisher or you independent publish, you always, always, always get the good editor, because that's where your money's going to pay off the most, for sure. And so, yeah, it is. It's a process. And you have to find the right editor for you, because it can't all be, and it sounds like you have, but it can't all be, this is terrible, fix this. It's, okay, I see what you did here. This is good. Let's do this. And, I mean, yeah, it's a process for sure. Yeah.
And it's got to be
hard.
hard for the editor to find the right balance.
Yeah.
Because in the beginning, she didn't really make suggestions with actual sentences or actual ideas. She was more of, I feel like this is too much. How could you make it be more blah, blah, blah? And toward the end, she was more comfortable with saying, why don't you just write this?
Yeah.
Which, of course, then I, took her idea and then changed her out of it. But so there was also in our relationship, can you say it matured over the process of the book?
Oh, for sure. Yeah. I think you learn how to talk to each other. That's effective, for certain.
Yeah. Yeah. And realizing, with the distance, because she's in the U.S., I'm over here, it was a lot by email. So that makes it a bit harder as well.
Yeah, I get that part for sure. But it sounds like that she did wonderful edits and inputs and everything else. Your reviews have been great. And it sounds like you're very happy with your story. Yeah.
I am. The crazy thing is, I don't know if you have the same thing, but my first goal, really, originally, I just wanted to write a book, write a novel. And then as I started to get toward the end of it, toward the end of that first draft, writing a novel wasn't enough. I wanted it to be good.
Yes, exactly.
So like my goal had already changed. And then after deciding, after working on it for so long and deciding, it is pretty good. I think I did a good book. Then you want to publish it. Then you want to, it's like this sliding goal. So you never quite achieve everything you want.
Well, I think you don't achieve it all at once.
Happen?
Yeah, I think that it's like, okay, I just need to make sure this chapter is really amazing. Okay, now I'm going to make sure the next chapter. And then it becomes the whole book. Then you go through and edit. And then, of course, you do, book cover or whatever and the whole thing. And so it's like you're saying, you learn to break it down in chunks. Because if you, for me, trying to absorb this whole massive project in one sitting is just like, it makes me shut down. It's like I don't think I can get anywhere. Versus, like I'm going to clean my entire house instead of, okay, I'm just going to work on this closet. Okay, now that's done. Now I'm going to do the next one.
And it really is like that. You put it so well.
Yeah. Because I figure all of us would have the universal loathing of house cleaning. So it doesn't really matter where you live. It's not fun. I don't enjoy it.
Weirdly, I do not like to vacuum.
Okay.
And that's not even the hardest thing to do.
It's interesting, certain things that, I'm just like, I don't want to do this. I think it's not, for me, it's not doing the laundry. It's folding all the laundry and putting it away. That's my thing.
Well, one of the things I do, and it's kind of common here, is I hang my clothes out to dry outside. Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. And it's every time I can. It means we have good weather, so that's already a big thing.
Sure.
And when you take it out later, it smells so good.
I think I might enjoy it more that way. Yeah.
Well, since I know I'm going to get that perk, then
right. We're in San Antonio, so I feel like if I put my laundry out, it would dry like way faster because it's been so hot.
Where
open
you
the door.
You could even do like 2 hours and you're good to go.
Right. There's some days I'm like, and I open the door and it's dry. There, we're done. So all finished.
Which is good.
Yeah. So you've got your first book. Now, are there more in the series? Are you going to continue this, or do you have other characters you've been working on? What's the plan?
So I have been asked by several readers to do the sequel.
Okay.
And I am toying with that idea.
Okay.
But before that, there's another novel I want to write, and I'm actually having a really hard time getting started. It's very personal. It's about a very hard yet emotionally hard but very rich time in my life. Okay. It's about the last 2 weeks of my mother's life. Okay. And it was a crazy moment, but it was one of those times when it was just like the meaning of life. Well, that was it. Those 2 weeks, that's the meaning of life. Sure. And I really want to I want to write that. But what I want to do is very, very complex structurally, and I'm having a hard time. Yeah, I might just be biting off more than I can chew, but it's something that I really want to do. So it won't be fun and lighthearted like the first one. Sure. Well, those moments in our lives are certainly, we have to dig pretty deep. And it's just kind of like laying your, what is it, putting your baby on the block, basically. I mean, that's your heart, your memories, and it can be as happy you remember them as it is painful. So, yeah, I can see why that would be a much harder project from like a 180 from the Sunrise Over Paris project, for sure. Well, it's happy and painful all at the same time. Sure. And there were some moments that were hysterically funny, which just goes to show you can laugh at anything. But, for sure. And it's just very, very intense and rich, and I guess you would say the whole tapestry of life sort of thing. I had taken a writing class, an online writing class, and for one of the homework assignments, we had to like post something we had written. And so I had written the very, very beginning of this novel, and I had posted it. And then the other students would critique it. Yeah. And I got very good feedback, like excellent feedback. But, well, that's a positive start. Well, it's one page. Hey, one page at a time, right? Yeah, as somebody wrote on her website.
Yeah. So
Great
was,
website,
and if I
by
can
the way.
ask,
It's fun.
okay, was your mother's passing unexpected?
No, my mother had a stroke, and
Okay.
she was in a wheelchair for 2 years before she then
Okay.
passed away.
All
And
right.
so the actual end itself came a little bit faster than we expected, but it wasn't a surprise.
Okay. Okay. And how long ago did this happen?
I knew you were going to ask that question, and I'm so bad with dates. I want to say 8 years ago.
Okay.
But I want to say 8 years ago. That would be about right. But I'm 8 or 9 years ago. But I'm super bad with years. Like I can tell you what house I lived in at the time something happened, but not the year.
Well, I mean, that does give you a time frame, though, because I'm like, oh, no, we moved from this house. It's like we've been trying to go through pictures. It's one of those projects like, oh, I can't go anywhere. Let's see what I can work on. And, I have this, I'm going to go through all the pictures of the kids and, kind of categorize them so I know where to find them. And it's, my husband will say, well, when was that? I'm like, well, I know it was between here and here because that's that house, where they're sitting. I can see like the kitchen or the backyard. I know where that was. So I know it's this time frame. And it's interesting how we can say, oh, that's right, that was that. So, but yeah, it's still a time frame of time. So at least it was between these dates.
But what I don't know, I don't know how people, people who don't move often, like I don't know how they how they timeline their lives.
Yeah.
Because how do if you're in the same house for 30 years, how do you know what year it was?
Right. Well, I mean, I guess too, you would go by clothing or ages of the people around you.
Or you might just be better at this than I am. That could be too.
I don't know. It's all it all depends, I guess. I mean, I guess everyone has their own methods. I mean, we were laughing hysterically because my father-in-law had all of these slides, and my husband said, "Well, let me take them and I will scan them," because he decided he was going to get this little digital. They have them that you can like put slides in and it'll digitally scan them. And the one that you could do like 100 was like a ridiculous amount of money for us at the time. So we got one that you could do one at a time. So my husband just every day just did like 20 of them, and he's scanning all these slides. And he sends it to his dad, and it's just stuff like there's a tree, and he doesn't even know, and it's faded because it's been sitting in a closet, but there's no people. It's like it's like, where are the people? Like if somebody found this from some ancient civilization in 1,000 years, it'd be like, were there no people on the earth? It's all just no people.
They were all just a very shy bunch.
Yeah, well, yeah, it's like he took a picture of this tree or this, whatever, and we were laughing because it's like there's no people in this world, and we'd ask him, well, what is this? He goes, I don't know. I have no idea. Like, well, what about this house? Did you recognize this house? Well, maybe it's it's just like, okay, well, but he was happy with them all.
It seems like a good idea at the time.
Yes, I will remember this tree. Yeah,
but it's a nice.
I mean, it's not like
it's giving your father-in-law.
It was very sweet, because apparently my father-in-law went through all of them, to see all these different pictures, and it's interesting to you go back, you go, oh yeah, that's right, some of them because they'd have buildings and he would remember. Oh, it was this building here when we went to this thing. But I always find family movies very interesting, especially the 8mm or, when before there was even sound, because there was one where my husband was showing a picture of them camping. And, there's 3 boys and my mother-in-law and my father-in-law, and I'm laughing because he's like, "Oh yeah, here we are, we're running the campfire and everything," and scans over to his mom and everything. I just started laughing. He's like, "What is it?" I said, "Did you not see the reaction on your mom's face?" And he's like, "No, what was it?" It was literally like, "If you don't get the camera out of my face right now," but I think she had it at that point. She was done camping, but she wouldn't say anything. But it was that look of, "I'm going to stab you in your sleep." Get that camera out of my face.
Oh my God!
But he was looking
so
at
funny.
it through eyes of a child who had been there,
Mm-hmm,
So,
mm-hmm.
yeah, those pictures
and it really
are
brought back the moment in a powerful way.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. And so when you were writing the story, and you have all these places around Paris that are not as commonly visited. I mean, you obviously have the touristy ones, but I mean, I think what's fun is those little nuggets of places that people may not think to look, or that little shop there, that little place there. Weaving that in, it's a big deal. It makes it just layers it more beautifully. I mean, how did you know, I guess this is part of your editing process, but knowing how to layer in the little known places versus the obviously tourist ones. How did you know that balance, that recipe?
The balance, I don't know that I knew. I just did. So if I got it right, or if you think I got it right, then thank you.
You're welcome.
It was all by accident. But I did do a lot of research. Despite the fact that I've lived here a long time and I know Paris well, I did do an awful lot of research to make things as true as possible.
Sure.
And because I do enjoy novels where you can really mentally follow the person along the path.
Right.
I like that a lot. There's, I don't know if you ever read The Crying of Lot 49 by Thomas Pynchon.
I haven't, but I will write that down.
It's one of his easier works because some of his stuff is really difficult. I read it in college, and part of it happens in Southern California, part of it happens in Northern California. And since I was in college in Oakland at the time, I knew really well but the areas where he was talking about. And you really could follow, down this street and take a right and then go on the bus station and blah, blah, blah. Mm-hmm. And it made it very enjoyable for me. And so I wanted to offer that enjoyment as well to my readers. So a lot of those details, probably 98% are all true.
Okay.
Because there's one bit I had to kind of tweak to make it work, but I'm not going to tell you which one. And I did a lot of research on that. Something that's really fun in Paris for anyone who comes, once we're able to travel again, if you're a walker, a hiker, there are actually 3 hikes that you can do. 2 of them are west to east, going on the northern half of Paris or the southern half. And then there's another one that goes north to south. And they're about 25 kilometers each. And it takes you through some really fabulous neighborhoods. Really, really fabulous. So I knew some of this stuff already because of going on those hikes. And then others, had to go find more.
Nice. Well, I will write that down and put it on my list of things to do.
Yeah, when you come,
I will.
On a hike.
Ooh, that's exciting. Yes, I would love that.
We do break for lunch.
I love that. And wine is involved, I'm sure.
Of course.
Of course.
This
I mean,
is France.
that's just
of course there's wine.
Of course there's wine everywhere. It's awesome. And I think the thing that really I love about that is it's this, what's the word? It's like nobody was, people were obviously in a hurry. There were people that were going and trying to be somewhere. But it wasn't in the sense of the franticness, like the angry traveler, I guess. It was, yes, I'm going to get there. It's going to be fine. All good, you know. But again, I mean, I just may not have met that person that day when we were there. But it doesn't seem, time is, the measure of time is different in the sense of how it's perceived. I see that when we were there.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know if that's a valid. Okay.
Yeah.
And it wasn't a frantic thing. So, which was lovely, and we did walk a lot. And so, word of advice for anyone who's planning to travel somewhere, but you plan to walk a lot: do not use that opportunity to break in new shoes.
I'm hearing the word of
time.
experience here.
Yes, it is not a good time to do that. And yes, cuteness does not trump comfort. So be sure and be for sure, be comfortable.
Yeah, walking shoes are important. They're in Paris or in other cities. Even when you visit Versailles, there is a lot of cobblestone.
Yes.
And you do not want to be wearing heels, and even less stiletto heels on cobblestone.
Yes.
You know, you'll break your ankle.
It was interesting to see the outfits. I'm like, man, you know, nobody on your Instagram is going to see your feet. So I'm just like, wear tennis shoes. It's fine. I promise. It's going to be okay. Oh, yeah. Well,
seriously.
Yeah. I know, it's crazy. So for anybody that's been listening, this is Patricia W. Fisher. I've been talking to Carolyn Eychenne, and I did say that right, correct? Did I say it correctly?
It's Carolyn Eychenne.
Eychenne.
So
Thank
think
you.
Asian with a lisp.
Okay, fair. And you spell her last name Eychenne. And if you want to find her, she's on Amazon, her website, LinkedIn, Facebook, and Goodreads, and I have all those links in the right above the show. And her book, Sunrise Over Paris, is out now, and you can grab it on Amazon. So please do so. And please come back when you have your next project going, and we can talk some more. I would love to hear about it.
I would love to. Thank you so much, Patricia. I've had a ball with you.
Thank you. Absolutely. Merci beaucoup.
Je vous en prie.
There we go.
That means you're welcome.
And this has been Patricia W. Fisher with Readers Entertainment Radio. Keep on reading, everybody.
This show brought to you by Circle of Seven Productions. www.cosproductions.com. Please be sure to subscribe and welcome to our circle.